Hello there, everybody, the Hat Person here, and oh my god, Senran Kagura 7! Oh boy! Oh, I was not expecting it at all. But we're gonna go ahead and we're going to watch this video right now. It was only 45 seconds, but oh my god. So apparently this kind of came out, ironically, like the first place where I heard this from was from lewdgamer.com. I follow them on Twitter for some reason. And I don't know why I'm following them, because it always makes me want to like look at Twitter on my phone, like privately, like hiding it like this, because like they're like posting a bunch of dirty stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm in public, so I don't want them, like, people like seeing me, you know, look at blowjobs and stuff like that. But hey, you know, Lewd Gamer is not the only one. Like, I have a bunch of Twitter accounts that is like, you know, that I'm following that is full of that stuff. But anyway, my Twitter following preferences aside, so they wrote an article about a teaser for the next Senran Kagura game, and I'm like, dude, I haven't even bought Peach Beach Splash yet, and I'm already hyped for the second one. And so I saw Senran Kagura 7, and I'm like, oh my, what? I was so confused, because this entire time I was, you know, hoping for Senran Kagura 3. But apparently the way that they are kind of rationalizing the order of the games is that all of the games are canon, and they're all like part of the same timeline. So you could say that, you know, Senran Kagura Burst is the first one, and then Senran Kagura 2 Deep Crimson, and then after that, I guess it'd be Shinobi versus, and then Bon Appetit, and then the Estival versus, and then Peach Beach Splash, and now 7, which is the one that's coming up later. Who knows when it's coming out, based on what Kenichiro Takaki has been saying in the past, in that he wants to keep making PlayStation 4 games, but that he's also pretty interested on the Nintendo Switch. So who knows where this brand new game is going to be coming out. Now, all of the numbered games in the Senran Kagura series 1 and 2 have been on Nintendo platforms, like on the 3DS. And so I would not be surprised if they announced Senran Kagura 7 for the Switch. But on the other hand, the teaser trailer was like a ending thing. Like, you see the ending to Peach Beach Splash, and then immediately after they roll that teaser trailer, and that's a PS4 exclusive game. So, you know, why would they put a trailer for a Switch game on a PS4 game? Like, that already completely debunks that. Maybe it'll be multi-platform, but I don't see it. You know, considering how the massive differences between PS4 and Switch are, I sincerely doubt that it'll be multi-platform. It'll probably be one or the other, and my guess is that it'll be on PS4. And so, let's go ahead and watch this. I really want to see. Okay, so I was at university when this story came out, so I was kind of like, man, why aren't I at home right now so that I can make a video on this? So, teaser trailer reaction, let's take a look, and we're also going to look at another trailer for some DLC. That's the main reason for why I'm making this video, is because there's so much stuff that came out immediately after I made my catching up video, so let's just go ahead and get into it. So, it starts off with this flame. So I'm already getting some Deep Crimson vibes, because it starts with fire. Okay, so the volume is up, right? There we go. That's the volume. Okay, go. Okay, let's just watch the whole thing, and then let's, you know, rewind and see what we got. So already we're getting Senran Kagura Burst, Senran Kagura, like, 3DS setup. We got Gessen. Okay. Oh shit, Yoma. That was very brief. 7. Oh my god! Just like that! Wow. Oh shit! God, that gets me so excited. Oh my god, Senran Kagura 7! Shit! And I was saying, man, when are you gonna give Senran Kagura 3? Senran Kagura 3, Senran Kagura 3. No, we're giving you 7, bitch. It's so cool. And it kind of debunks the whole thing about, like, the 3DS games and the PlayStation games kind of being two separate timelines. Apparently, they're all part of the same story. Now, of course, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't really make sense, you know. There's a lot of the side stories and all that stuff that are kind of, like, non-canon-ish, and then, like, the spin-offs technically don't have anything to do with anything, you know. They're kind of like comedy bits and stuff. So, you know, even though those kind of, you can fit them in a certain order, they don't really matter all that much, and they're not serious in the way that, you know, Burst or Deep Crimson can be. So let's go ahead and look through this. Let's do a trailer analysis for Senran Kagura 7. Fuck, I still can't believe that this is a thing. So you have these little, like this little poof of flame that is small and is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know what this symbolizes. Probably like, you know, Homura with her Crimson Homura ability, fire. I mean, already it's feeling kind of serious. I'm getting a lot of Deep Crimson vibes out of this, just from the color and stuff. So, if this is a numbered game in the series, like, I'm already wondering, like, what kind of characters are going to be showing up, because we saw a lot of important stuff here. So, and it seems that it's going to be almost like a direct continuation from Deep Crimson, because they're showing some stuff that doesn't really make sense in the present time. So let's see. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This probably means something. And we're getting just like, there's no like, like, there's no like super happy music. It's just like, boom, chugga, boom, chugga, like a bunch of drums. Like, you're preparing for a fucking battle here. Okay, we're kind of starting to make something out here. Okay, so already, this is like some Dragon Ball Super shit right here. So I remember in the opening for Deep Crimson, and I think in a little bit of Burst, you saw like in the opening anime cutscene, you would see like an image of the girls naked with like the planets covering them up, you know? It was like, I don't know, symbolic of something. But look at this. It's like 4 planets on 4 different directions, like north, south, east, and west. And they look like they're getting destroyed. Like, half of them are, like, getting blown up. Like, when Frieza destroys the planet Earth in, like, that Dragon Ball movie. Like, it looks like they're getting torn apart, and Earth is next. Like, Earth is, like, at the center of this. Okay, oh, shit. Okay, now we're seeing Gessen. Hold on, we're getting some slowdown here in the video. Come on. Yeah, like, it was stopping there. Yeah, so we have Naruko here, who, I don't know, that's already implying that she's a very significant part of what's coming up. Okay, now we have a band. I do know that in the Senran Kagura card game, like in the mobile game that's only in Japan, there's a faction in it that's called the Archangels, which I don't know if they're a shinobi group or something. I can only assume that they're like a shinobi group posing as like a rock band or something like that. And so I don't know of any other characters other than those that would make sense in this position. Now, their faces look kind of generic, like you don't see their faces or any kind of particular hairstyle, but I can only imagine that it's them, you know? But there's 4 people, and there's 5 people for every faction, so who knows if, you know, this has anything to do with that. I mean, of course, for every Senran Kagura game, it'd be weird if they didn't add more characters. So, you already have Leo and Yuyaki and Soji, and they're all the leaders of their own, you know, set of factions. So that's already 3 factions that you're adding in there, but there's only 1 character for each, so who knows, maybe it's just 4 for this one. Or maybe they'll introduce a brand new one, like the 5th one in this game. So there's like a concert happening. I need to rewind because the video is so short that there's a little bit of... Holy shit, there's a lot of slowdown here. Okay, the planets, Naruko... Okay, sums up here. It's like a dude, and then 2 people. I see like a blonde hair and then black hair, which I can only assume is maybe Ikaraga and Katsuragi. Because whoa, this is Kiriya. This is Master Kiriya, Ikaraga, and Katsuragi, because I remember, I was watching somebody stream Peach Beach Splash the other day, and they were playing through the Hanzo story, and there was some kind of implication, like, they were bringing in the story that, Ikaraga was really sad, because, Ikaraga and Katsuragi are 30 years, and so they're graduating very soon. It's implied that very soon we'll graduate, like, even since Shinobi Versus, they were saying that. So, maybe this is the day, like, maybe in Senran Kagura 7, this is the day where they graduate, and they separate from the high school Hanzo girls. And so maybe Kiriya is like officially like graduating them and like giving them a mission to like go out there and just kind of live their life. And so maybe this will be very interesting because they also have Ayame as well in Peach Beach Splash. Like they added her as like a Hanzo girl now. She's not just a shopkeeper anymore. So that leaves them with 4 people in the faction now. And so, you know, you add Daidoji and then, you know, Katsuragi and Ikaraga. That's too much. That's like a big crowd of Hanzo girls. And so some of them graduate, a brand new people come in. So, yeah, they're kind of like cycling them out. And so this might be a story where we see what happens to Ikaraga and Katsuragi after the fact. You know, like what lives are they living afterwards? I hate that the video keeps slowing down. Yeah, like it seems like, yeah, that's definitely Kiriya in the corner. Okay, now we're seeing Gessen, but I'm seeing a very strange thing here. Okay, for one, there's only 3 people, and 2 of these people should not be in Gessen right now. So maybe this Senran Kagura 7 actually takes place after, I mean, like before Shinobi Versus, or maybe this is just a flashback that they're showing off. Because Riona and Ryobi, yes, they used to be Gessen students, but they went evil. Well, not really. They didn't really go evil. They just wanted revenge for Ryoki, their dead sister, by sneaking into Heavy Joe, becoming a member, and then, you know, like killing Miyabi and everybody else in there. But obviously, if you've played Shinobi Versus, you know that they have a change of heart and they become friends with Heavy Joe instead. And they stay there. Like, they don't go back to Gessen. They stay as Heavy Joe students. Come on. Okay, it takes a little while. Okay, and she's reaching out to somebody. I can only assume that it's like her grandfather. She's probably seen like a vision of Kurakage or something like that. Because whenever you see Yumi actually be a character, it's always revolved around her legacy and, you know, the history that she has with Kurakage and her past and all that stuff. So, people say that, you know, a lot of people really hate Yumi because people say that she's very bland and has no personality. But the interesting stuff really comes out whenever you talk about her grandfather and all that stuff. Now, I really want to emphasize the color here. Everything here in the background, all of the red, it just yells Deep Crimson to me. Because I remember the opening to Deep Crimson, like the anime opening, and also the entirety of the game, there's a shit ton of red. Like, they don't call the game Deep Crimson for nothing. Because, like, the backgrounds are red, the levels are red, like, the sky and the backgrounds of the anime opening is completely red. And that gives it kind of a darker tone, like a much more serious feel to it. And the game itself, you know, had a lot of serious fucking moments. And so I can only assume that they're giving the Shinobi versus and Estival versus like New Heavy Joe and the Gessen girls, they're kind of giving them the Deep Crimson treatment of like having their own like serious moment. They're kind of bringing them into that world rather than in the 30S games where it was literally just Hanzo and Crimson Squad, and like that, those are the 10, and they're just having adventures. Okay, now we're seeing some different shit here. Hold on. This fucking YouTube video is not making me any favors. Okay, so Ayame is here. She looks really happy. She looks like, yay! Like, I'm here with the other girls. I was about to say, I'm a new Hanzo student, but, again, like, I don't know where this fits in the timeline. They say it's Senran Kagura 7, but, you know, who knows? Like, all of this is kind of looking like prequel. This seems like a direct continuation of Senran Kagura 2, but they're calling it 7. Like, it's weird. If you follow the chronological releases of all the games, you'd obviously think that all of this takes place after Peach Beach Splash. But I don't know. Like, it's a little confusing because they're putting some things here that should be in the past, but they could easily be flashbacks, you know? And also, the thing that really makes me think that, you know, this takes place after Peach Beach is that Yagyu still has her brand new hairdo. Like, before she had the twin tails, but she only starts wearing the one ponytail in Peach Beach. And so she's continuing it now. So maybe this is after, now that they're back into school, they're now doing stuff. And Ayame is now kind of getting all cozy with everybody else. Okay. Come on, fuck. The damn video won't work. Okay, so now you have 2 girls. So you have Kagura. And so then I would say that, you know, this is her looking at herself because she has multiple forms where she grows older and stuff like that. But this seems like a completely different person because when Kagura goes into like her teenage form, I guess, she has longer hair. She almost has like Ikaruga hair, slightly longer than this. This could easily be like her kind of passing on her power to somebody else. The power of like killing the Yoma and like reincarnating and all that stuff. So, who knows? This could easily just be her talking to herself because she has multiple forms and stuff like that. I'm going to start rewinding the video from this point on because I already know that it's going to fuck up. Oh, now it didn't. Maybe if I do it too quickly, it screws up. But yeah, so is that... And that's like what I can only assume is Shin. You know, in Estival Versus, the entire reason for why Sayuri brought everybody to that island was not really to train them, but to like, you know, whoever wins the festival, those will be trained to be Kagura. You know, whoever wins will become Kagura, and, you know, you'll be strong enough to be able to fight this enormous giant fucking Yoma that's going to completely obliterate this city. Now, why does Sayuri know that? Well, because the island that Estival Versus takes place in is an alternate timeline where that giant Yoma monster killed everybody. And that island is literally the only thing in the world that's left, as far as we know. And so, is this timeline where everyone is dead? And so, now they're gonna go back, kind of knowing that, okay, this, imagine like Dragon Ball Z. You guys know like the Future Trunks arc, right? Like with Cell and the androids and all that stuff. Where like, yeah, it takes place in the past. What is the future, but it's kind of like a different timeline. Whenever you talk about time travel, it's so fucking difficult to explain. It's like interdimensional travel and all that shit. So, in the island, it's like in the future where everyone is dead, but then you go back to the regular Senran Kagura world, and that's still in the past. The monster still kind of hasn't come yet. Sayuri is almost like Trunks in a way, where she's kind of like warning everybody, hold up, you need to be ready for this shit, because it's coming and it's gonna fuck you up. And so, that's what Estivalverse was about. And then Peach, and now with Senran Kagura 7, it seems that the day has come, like Katsuragi and Ikaraga have graduated, or at least they're about to graduate. It seems like, if anything, this is going to be like their final adventure with the regular Hanzo girls before they kind of just go off on their own. And so, yeah, this monster is coming. You just have, like, shadowy looks here. Like, there's no indication of what this thing really looks. There was only a very brief description in Estivalverses where they were saying that there was this big, black, like, giant, like, cloudy, dark-looking baby, like a fetus, that it had, like, a fetus shape. And eventually that fetus would be born into whatever, Shin ends up looking like. This is, like, the ultimate bad guy here. Because the Yoma, at least how they describe it in Shinobi-verses, and then Estivalverses, like, there are these, like, even, like, the small ones, they're, like, these unstoppable, brutal beasts that, like, brutally kill everybody. And so it takes a lot of effort to kill just one. And so, this is supposed to be, like, the master, like, King Yoma of all, which seems, incredible. It seems like, wow, we're gonna get, like, fucking, like, Deep Crimson sized boss battles. Now, here's where, it gets a little murky. It gets a little confusing, because in Deep Crimson, you can see, not even, like, the Gessen or Hebijo ones or anybody, is just Crimson Squad and Hanzo, where they're just killing Yoma left and right like it's nothing. And so, that's where it gets a little strange for me, because you have this one story where they're killing Yoma like it's nothing, and then you have Shinobi-versus an Estival, where, like, they are actively afraid and terrified of these Yoma. So that's why people say, well, these are two timelines, because the villain kind of doesn't make sense if they're all just in one spot. That, and, like, they come across Dogen a bunch of times. Like, it gets really confusing. And so that was kind of the disadvantage of having Senran Kagura Burst and Shinobi-verses kind of have separate stories, like being able to choose your faction, and they all have their own story, and so some of them kind of conflict with each other, and it's a little weird. But it seems that as time has gone on, they have kind of started creating like the one singular, like, canon timeline that is kind of happening right now. But again, this is all just fiction, so fuck it, like, whatever, what does it matter? So let's see what happens after this. Fucking stupid thing. That's it. That's literally it. They show like, almost like the monster consuming the city, and then they just put the giant 7 on there, and then Asuka says something, and I can't understand it. I really wish that there's like some sort of subtitles that I can read. But yeah, man, that gets me super excited. Even in Asuka's voice, she's not like super perky and happy and like, let's do it. No, she's like, Senran Kagura 7, bitch, get ready. Like, it sounds like they're really gonna go back to what I personally really loved about Senran Kagura, which was the fucking serious hardcore action. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but initially with Shinobi-verses, I kind of hated the side stories because it was not really clear that they were comedy bits, As much as I love Senran Kagura for being more than just fan service, sometimes it takes like the super stupid route. Kind of the same problem that I have with Dragon Ball Super. In Dragon Ball Super, I fucking love the Future Trunks arc because they get serious and to the point. There's like a legit villain. They're like looking at this, we have to beat this guy. And there was a lot of action, a lot of tension, a lot of new things happening. They were moving forward, which is something that I really, really love to see. But then I also hated Dragon Ball Super because it has those dumbass, like everything that takes place in the present, anything that wasn't in the future, it was like stupid comedy, like very badly told jokes, like Peel Off and all those, like bleh! Just like being stupid and like having like this really cringy comedy relief, like is so overdone. It's been done a million times to death. Like this fucking safe, comedy. It's so stupid and it's a waste of time, I think. Like that's like them kind of appealing to children, I think. But I have a similar problem with Senran Kagura in general, where like every single time that they're serious, it's awesome. And then the fan service is kind of like a very lighthearted way to kind of counterbalance all that stuff. But then sometimes they take it a little bit too far towards the stupid comedy with, the side stories and then, having spin-off games where they don't really, they could easily fit in anywhere in the story. And then, some of those are canon, some of those are not canon, some of the side stories get brought up later, and then some of them people just completely forget about them. So like it gets fucking confusing, And as much as I like to get a lot of gameplay time out of playing through the different factions, sometimes I think it's beneficial to just have one storyline, so you just fucking get what the hell is happening. And so, but it's easy to understand, like Giant Yoma coming in as predicted, and because of this timeline where everybody died. And so now, who knows if there's like a time skip? I'm assuming there won't. I think it'll just be immediately after Peach Beach. But, this is essentially them preparing for this giant battle that was already hinted at before. So, yeah, man, this is looking really, really, really awesome. Only 45 seconds, but you got some significant stuff here. And we're seeing a lot of parallels to Deep Crimson specifically. Yeah. And so, if this really is a sequel to Deep Crimson, if this is Senran Kagura 3, technically, then, yeah, it would kind of make sense if they barely just started introducing Gessen at this point, in some sort of timeline before, Ryobi and Riona join Hebijo. But if this is Senran Kagura 7, and it takes place, like, immediately after Peach Beach, then this is just a flashback. They're just thinking about back in the day, or maybe they temporarily come back. Who knows? I have no idea. And so where the hell is everybody else? Where's Murakumo? Where's Shiki? Where's everybody? I have no idea. This is another thing that kind of makes me think that this is a flashback, It's kind of like this thing just kind of focusing on the three of them, just thinking back on that stuff. I really have no idea what's going on. But I'm excited. I'm so incredibly excited because the action games, that's where it's fucking at. And because I love Deep Crimson so much because of the improvements from Burst and how much better it is than Estival Versus, I'm like, if they just like improve and build on Deep Crimson, they have that same fast, awesome gameplay experience from then. If they can do it on 3DS, they can do it on PS4. And the problem that I had with Estival Versus was the slow recovery animations, the big emphasis and priority on making the movement and animation look really nice. But it ended up hampering the gameplay a lot. It made the controls super unresponsive. It made the characters very, very slow and just insufferable to play as. I only really enjoyed myself, genuinely, when I was playing by myself, when I was playing as very fast characters like Hikage, Karaga, Asuka, any character that's kind of well-balanced and that doesn't really have a big wind-up like Hanabi or Yozakura or even Katsuragi. Katsuragi is kind of a... still not gearing towards bad. It's kind of like in the middle towards good, but still a very heavy character that's kind of a pain in the ass to use sometimes. And so... like Ayame, that's another really good one that I like. So, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of changes that you could do, or at least a lot of pulling back from that to make it more similar to Deep Crimson and then iterate from that. Because it seems like the visuals, the art style, the cutscenes, the way that they're presenting the visuals, like with Naruto in space and all that shit, it seems like they're really making it seem like this is a continuation, but it has a feel, like the feel of Senran Kagura 3. If they gave it the 3 number, it would definitely make sense. It feels like Deep Crimson 2, just to make it even more confusing. But, man, I really, really want to see how this turns out. You saw 0 Hebijo people, like Miyabi, Murasaki, Emu, all of those people, they're gone here. So that's another thing. Like, this could easily take place in the past because where are they? We only see Hanzo and Gessen. We didn't even see, like, Crimson Squad at all. Yeah. And it seems to be focused on Yumi specifically, none of the others. And then they're bringing in the Kagura and Naruto into it. Yeah. This will probably be like the final game where we'll see Kagura because, you know, we have to fight this enormous Yoma, and who else, you know, that can help us other than her, right? But if she fights Yoma, she goes away, so yeah, who knows? It'll probably be a continuation of that, you know? So it's weird. We really have to see more details, and we probably won't see it until like a year from now because Peach Beach Splash literally just came out a couple days ago, you know? And so to ask for more information now would be a little bit too demanding. They're going to let Peach Beach sit. They're going to bring it over to America, port it over to PC, and maybe even after that, maybe perhaps that we'll see a couple more trailers and we'll get some more information, maybe even a gameplay video. But man, I'm shitting myself over this. I really want to see what happens next in the story. I want to see this big enemy. I want to see big boss fights again. I want to see cutscenes. I want to see, you know, more character development and more characters. I want to see them in a much more serious light. It seems that Katsuragi and Ikaruga, one of my two favorite characters in the whole series, are going to be a big focus yet again. Thank God, because they have a lot of history together, and it seems that they're graduating. Either they are about to graduate or they have graduated already and they're going off on a mission. I really want to see how the separation of these people with the regular Hanzo team is going to turn out. Because in Peach Beach Splash, there was a lot of struggle. Like, there are scenes where, like, Ikaruga's, like, crying because she's saying, I don't want to leave you guys. Like, I love being here. I don't want to leave. And eventually, you know, they kind of cope with it. But still, I want to see how all that turns out, you know, seeing them kind of grow and kind of move on rather than being in this like perpetually high school, you know, experience, which is fine, you know, but I think it would be interesting to see them grow, both mentally and like physically as time moves on. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about Senran Kagura 7. I was going to continue on talking about other stuff, like the DLC and whatever, but I feel like this video is already a little bit too long. I have to record a podcast in like 2 minutes, so I'm gonna stop it here. I'll make another video some other day about the DLC and all the brand new stuff that's been coming out, and there'll probably be some more trailers, you know, the more I wait on that video, so maybe I'll let things accumulate and then talk about it. But anyway, that about does it for me. Are you guys hyped for Senran Kagura 7? Let me know in the comments. I know that there's kind of a small little tiny mini community here of Senran Kagura fans that watch Shinobi versus and Estival versus and love, you know, watching me talk about this. So just go ahead and let me know what you think. What platform is this going to be on? My guess is going to be on PS4. That one, it just seems really obvious. If it's, you know, a teaser trailer on a PS4 game, you know, and talking about how Takaki wants to, like, make the games bigger and better, it seems that PS4 just makes sense. So give this video a like if you enjoyed me talking about this and getting hype about Senran Kagura 7 already, you know? Peach Beach Splash just came out and I'm already hype about 7. And, of course, if you want to hear me talk more about games and Senran Kagura and just be hype about stuff, then go ahead and subscribe. And like that, you'll be updated on everything that's happening, and you'll never miss a single thing when it comes out. Get the little bell icon, click on that, and you'll be notified about stuff. I'm the Hat Person, and I'll see you guys next time for some more SK Talk. Bye-bye.